Unproductive nerds, because why the fuck not?
So start ignition, count to zero. I just wanna be a superhero.
Hello and welcome to Unproductive Nerds.
Shut up, guys! I wasn't here last week. Let me do my thing.
I'm the now permanent host,
up.
John
Before we
Scallon.
start, can we not talk over each other as much?
I'm sorry, but can I just make the point that you were ousted last week? I officially ousted you. Jack is the new John. Dan is now a permanent member. Oh, I get it. That's cute. You're being quiet, so it looks like you aren't here. That's
actually...
Are we actually recording?
Yes, we're actually recording.
I thought you stopped the recording.
He stopped it, I started it again. We're going again. I've tried to get them to record 3 times
Hello
now.
and welcome back to the Unproductive Nerds podcast. I'm sorry I wasn't able to make it last week, so you didn't have to hear my fabulous voice and you got stuck with that dipshit over there.
excuse you.
She's pointing at both Dan and John here, so just saying, got away with it.
Excuse you. Now, would you like to?
Are we treating Aiden as a silent observer?
The silent
Can't know about him.
Alright, we've got another host. Jesus, we're getting way too many hosts.
This is no-
Aiden, welcome to Unproductive Nerds.
Do I even count as a host?
No.
Okay.
Yes, you're a host, then who's not a host? It's all our podcast.
I mean, you're a host, and I'm a host.
Can I be the
and you-
guest this week?
Yeah, you're our guest. Our special guest,
With
Aiden.
guest host.
Oh, wait, are you going to be contributing?
Oh, we should get a guest.
Maybe.
Yeah, we
What's the
should.
topic?
Well, the thing is, we usually have a silent observer who just sits there and says nothing. And previously, that's been Freya and Ophelia. But if you're
I can't name them. You've ousted them. They'll be hunted down and killed.
but if you're actually talking, then we can't call you that.
Dan, you're gonna have to be.
I
the
want to
silent
talk a
observer.
little bit. I want to make fun of Dan, especially if I can get that in.
Okay, so new special guest.
They're giving each other the finger across the thing. They're doing a lot of visual gags none of you can see.
Okay, okay.
Dan is there shirtless.
Now-
Dan, put your pants back on. Come
Oh
on,
wow.
buddy.
Okay.
Jeez, Dan, you're a very white man, but your stomach is oddly black. It's very upsetting.
I don't know if we should bring up his hairy
Okay,
nipples or not.
guys, this week we're talking the Fast and Furious.
Yes. Sorry, go on.
So,
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I started this podcast just so we could talk about Fast and Furious.
Are you a fan of Fast and Furious? Are you a Fast and Furious fan of Fast and Furious?
I'm a furious fan of Fast and Furious.
Are you too fast and too furious?
I'm Fast and Furious 4.
I actually wish they
That's
kept.
even-
I wish they kept that naming scheme. Like in every single film, they have some new title. But I wish we'd now be getting 8 Fast, 8 Furious. Like if they just
Well,
kept.
it's called Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, like
Yeah, but I just
that's great.
like Furious.
ones.
Fast 5, Furious 7. Do you not think it would have been better if they just stuck with
I
the
wish because
3 Fast, 3 Furious, 4 Fast.
they know what demographic they're going for. They should have just called it Fast and Furious, mate with an 8. Because, you know, like,
Fast and Furious, mate.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck, that's good. Alright, so can I take it for granted we've all seen Fast and the Furious?
I have never seen a full film in the series from start to
You've never
finish.
seen a full film of Fast and Furious?
Nope.
You've never seen a full film
neither
ever.
have I.
Jeez. That
So,
was
Jack, we're going to leave it to you to explain.
Alright, Aiden, I'm taking you've
okay,
seen
we're
them,
aware
have you?
it's about
I've
cars
seen
and so much
the
shit.
third
but, like,
one
I want to hear Jack
and
explain
the
it.
7th one and maybe the 5th one.
And Dan, which ones have you seen?
I've seen the
Describe
the latest 4. Like I hopped in at Fast and Furious 4 when they break down. Out of
You
the prison.
jacked in. You bloody got
Yeah.
into the driver's seat, you might say. Nah,
That's
Chad.
right.
Oh,
Fucking
And it took me on a thrill ride across
yeah.
four fucking full films of Fast and Furious.
I have seen bits of all of them. But
Okay, so
I've seen a full one.
Here's what I'll do. I'll describe the first 3. Dan, you can take the next 3, and
Awesome.
Aiden, you do the final 2. I think
Can I just do Tokyo Drift?
you can do Tokyo just because I haven't seen Tokyo Drift.
I actually have. I've seen most of it. It's not a good film.
All right, so we'll start with the first Fast and the Furious. We got Dominic Toretto, him and La Familia. They're pulling heists. They're driving fast cars.
Yeah, I've
with
seen that.
great-looking women with tasty hoots and butts. Sorry,
Oh,
took
wow.
that,
Okay.
took that term from Cinefix. Cinefix, yes. Cinefix. That's the way it's
Okay, Jack,
Watch some Cinefix. It's real good.
Jack, we're all plagiarists. You're not supposed to actually tell the audience what we're plagiarizing.
I'm holding a candle. I'm shining a light to it.
Holding a candle.
a lampshade. You're hanging a lampshade.
Hanging a lampshade to it. All right, anyway, they're pulling heists. Paul Walker gets in on it. He's like, "Hey, I proved myself as a street racer. Let me pull a heist with you guys."
But isn't he an undercover?
Listen,
That's the twist.
that's the twist.
It's not the twist, no.
Yes,
You know it from the start.
you know it from like second scene, third scene.
Yeah.
You know he's a cop the whole time. They try and pull the heist, and Paul Walker realizes La Familia is more important than his job. So he decides to let them get away with it, and Dominic Toretto and him have one last race before they ever see each other again. That's it, they're done forever.
Because Paul Walker dies in a car accident.
Spoilers for life.
Spoilers for life.
Alright,
That's life of the water.
alright, second one up. Vin Diesel won't come back, so Paul Walker teams up with his wacky black friend to race across the country to Mexico and back to get gold or some shit like that. I don't know. That's the plot. The third one, Tokyo Drift, I think?
That's the third one.
Is it?
Q Aiden.
Tokyo
Alright,
Drift.
so from what I remember, Sam Worthington, lookalike but Southern, goes. He's in the police something, and then he watches a tape of him doing a big stunt, and then they go, "Well, fuck you. We're gonna send you to prison. Only we're not. We're gonna send you to Tokyo." I assume.
Same thing.
And then he goes to Tokyo, and he finds out that bigger than normal street racing is drifting, where people just drift a lot.
He just turned left.
Yeah, they just turn left a lot, and that seems to be the biggest thing in his world for no real
Because
reason.
Tokyo, it's all circles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every road in
exactly,
Tokyo is a
yeah.
circle.
You know what's fucking weird, actually? And it's the most unbelievable part, but it's actually true. They do this whole thing, how drifting is a mythical thing perfected in the Chinese mountains.
Yeah.
And that's actually true.
It's actually true.
Yeah.
That's the least believable thing, and it's also true.
The technique was developed by some guy who like drove around dirt roads in the mountains.
I'm assuming, like, if it was in ancient times, it would have been like a horse and cart, just
It
like
was like-
whipping it just from the right
It
or
was like
something.
in the
so it drifts.
60s,
Okay.
60s or 70s.
That's
Well, hey, I mean, in Iron Fist, they make it sound like he's able to drift in a horse and cart. Or a tuk-tuk or whatever he's using.
While eating some
I
donkey
haven't
meat and drinking that sweet peach wine, yeah.
And seeing your man's dad naked.
Oh my god.
Alright, anyway, sorry, back to Tokyo Drift.
Iron Fist was weird.
That's all I remember.
wasn't-
We
I
had
think
the episode on Iron Fist. This is Fast and
Yeah.
Furious.
We're fast, we're furious, we got this.
Iron Fist!
Drift
I
ends.
think Iron Fist was pretty fast and furious.
Tokyo Drift ends. It
Except
went pretty
not
slow at certain
furious.
points.
He's
Tokyo
angry.
Drift ends with one of the Asian guys who I can't remember the character's name.
Han.
It's Han.
And he gets T-boned, right?
Han gets T-boned and dies, and we don't know who does it. And then Vinny D pulls up at the very end to tie it back into the first one. Then Fast and the Furious 4 comes around, which, if you're keeping track, Tokyo Drift is in the future somehow.
Yes.
Even though everybody has, like, 2002 phones.
Yeah.
4, they're pulling more heists. This time, Vin Diesel's girl gets injured during the heist.
That's Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, something with them. I can't remember the character's name. They think she's dead, but she
Mia?
actually
Yeah.
But she actually.
Mia Familia.
Everyone thinks she's dead.
I thought it was like
but
Letty or
spoilers.
something.
Is it Letty?
It's like Letty or Leto or Letty.
Jared Leto. Yeah.
Jared Leto.
He's pretty effeminate. I mean, he can pull it.
Alright, keep going.
Everyone thinks she's dead. Spoiler alert: she's not. Fast and the Furious 5 comes around. Dan, take it away.
She
Cue
has
me.
amnesia, doesn't she?
We'll get to it.
It's my turn, John.
I haven't seen any of them. I can't contribute more than...
Okay, so
I got weird
all
close to you
the
there. I'm sorry.
familiar are there, but this time Brazil, and they're in Rio.
Hiding from the last heist that went wrong in 4.
Hiding from the last heist that went wrong, and they're like, we're going after a big bald guy, we're going after this girl who we think is pregnant, and we're going after this old FBI agent who turned his back on us for some reason.
You remember when this thing was about street racing? No.
Yeah, we don't know either.
On a quick side note, do you think the entire point of the recent Fast and Furious movies have been to make bald men be acceptable? Like Jason Statham, Vin Diesel, and
Breaking
The Rock.
Bad has been doing that for a lot longer.
But Breaking Bad was making them seem like they could be cool drug dealers. This is cool
Yeah.
street racing.
I wanted a gorilla in a bald cap and a wife beater.
Okay.
You could be referring to any of them.
Yeah.
Let's say it's one of the white guys, so we don't get into that.
I mean... Okay.
Okay, well, anyway, they're in Rio this time, and they have the bright idea to steal cars from a train using cars.
No, they're stealing Vin Diesel from the train. Vin Diesel's trapped on the train, or he's being transported on the train.
No.
Am I thinking of something else?
That was the opening to 4.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
this one, they're stealing cars from the train that's got cars on it with cars.
Oh, right. And they total out one car to break their fall that would not work.
Yeah, so they take the cars from the train, and is like Kurt Russell or some shit in this
That's
film?
6, that's 6.
That's 6?
Wait, no, it's 7.
No, it's
That's
7,
fun.
yeah.
That's 7.
7?
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to
that. Okay.
We'll get to old
Okay,
Curly
but-
Boy.
So yeah, they steal the cars, and then this pisses off a local Rio man who's got all this money, and then eventually the gang decides they don't like the big rich mob boss in Rio, and they're like, well, how do we hurt him? We got to hurt his money. So they go in and they start burning his money. They start going into buildings and without
to
masks
get his attention
or something, and they do it. They put a weird spin on it or something like that. They probably do it. With
they drive
tires
straight
or
into
something.
the bank with their cars.
Or they rob a bank holding tires or some shit. They make it about cars.
I'm really glad to see how memorable it was.
Yeah. So
But this attracts The Rock.
The Rock has not been brought. So Rock comes in and he's got this female cop sidekick. And female cop sidekick had a male cop husband who got killed by a criminal. So now she's a dad.
They might have been criminal street racers
Yeah.
as well. I feel like that was a point.
Yeah. So The Rock's in and he is a mean customer.
There's a great moment actually where he pulls up on Vin Diesel and they've got like a pissing contest where basically The Rock pulls out a small handgun, Vin Diesel pulls out a bigger handgun, The Rock pulls out like a machine gun, Vin Diesel pulls out a slightly bigger gun, then The Rock has all his guys raise up their guns. It's like 20 policemen, and then and then he's like, bro, we're in Rio. And then, like, every person in the street racing place pulls out a gun and aims it at The Rock.
I specifically remember him going, "You're forgetting, this is Brazil," and then everyone pulls out guns.
I don't know why. After someone mocks their accent and does it so terribly, they decide to back him up.
Like, surely the Brazilian tourist industry was just destroyed in one fell swoop there, implying that everyone in the country has guns.
Well, I mean, the news was doing the same thing during the Rio Olympics.
So, anyway, The Rock goes back to, it's like the garage that they're all holed up in.
Yeah.
Can I just really quickly, do you really think the Rio tourism industry would be destroyed by one action movie?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Well, I can't argue with you. I mean, your reasoning's pretty solid.
So to pull this heist, they pulled together all La Familia. So you got the black guy from the second one.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the Asian guy from Tokyo Drift.
It's like
He's
the
not
brothers,
dead
the
there.
explosive guys.
Yeah. They're all together, and they're all planning their heist, and suddenly The Rock comes in.
And then, what can only be described as a live-action interpretation of the chicken fight from Family Guy. The Rock and Vin Diesel just pummel each other.
They're throwing each other through walls. It's
He's
amazing.
thrown through walls. They're going out windows. They got like a spanner at one stage, or it's a wrench.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
not the first or the last time he's going to fight with two wrenches in his hands.
Yeah, it's like Dominic Toretto has this. He's been trained in wrench
combat.
Wrench combat.
Also, I love the idea of Vin Diesel being able to keep pace with The Rock, even though The Rock is like a foot taller than him and weighs like maybe 50 pounds more.
Yeah,
I remember that fight being pretty solid.
It's a really good fight.
It's better than Batman vs Superman.
But also, I'm pretty sure while this is happening, Paul Walker and his girl are off running away from Brazilian police or
Across
criminals or
rooftops,
something. And there's a scene where
Just like
Paul Walker goes to his pregnant girlfriend and says, "We gotta do this," and they jump through like a shanty town roof and just smash through like 6 foot. Like I don't know why you thought that was
I
a
know
good
you're
idea.
9 weeks. I know you're like 3 months pregnant, but time for some parkour, yeah?
Time to get fast and furious in here. Wait, what are you talking about?
But so anyway, and then after a long scuffle, wherein like I guess everyone else in the garage is just kind of standing down on the ground front of it. It's like
Vin Diesel tells him, he's like, "No, I got to do this. I got to do this myself.
Like, we can help you. There's so many of us, and then he's like,
God.
There's one of him. No,
But anyway, how I remember it, Vin Diesel overpowers him, and he's got the wrench, and he does the thing. It's the fake. And he holds up the wrench.
Yeah.
He goes, "Wha-bam!" and he brings it down
Next
and
to the Rock's
next
head.
to the Rock's head, probably shattering his eardrum from the impact.
Agent
center.
Hawk.
Yeah, remember there's all those scenes in the next movies then when his sidekick will just go, "Rock, I think we should take in Vin Diesel," and he'll go, "What?"
Yeah, Furious 5, it's just The Rock going to a doctor and being diagnosed with tinnitus. It's weird, I lost the cops, but I can still hear the sirens. Bro, we gotta get you to a hospital.
Alright, so they plot the heist.
They
next.
plot the heist, and it's in a world class fake out. They have the safe
Yeah, the plan is
attached with a cable to a car.
they've got to go so fast that the motion sensors don't activate.
Yeah.
What?
Faster than the motion sensors can read them.
But a car's like 6 feet long.
It's going to the airbed like
They'd have to be going faster.
Just like Die Hard, but with the car.
if it's like a
I know what a 2 feet dinner is like.
if if it's like a laser motion detector, how could you possibly get a car moving fast enough that you could get the entire thing through the motion?
You know how they do it. You know how they do it.
Italian job. I don't know if that's a
Here's
thing.
how they do it. They drift it. That's how they get past the
They
motion.
drift through the vent.
How is drifting faster?
They drift it. That's all you have to know.
Okay, fine.
I think drifting is the equivalent of like the flash vibrating his mouth.
Yeah.
When you're drifting a car, you can get to anything.
Right through a solid How do you think the car got in the air vent?
It's just like the Juggernaut.
It's absolute chaos. They have the safe in a lorry or something, and they go under a tunnel, and the cops are like, "Whoa," and they're like, once when we go through this tunnel, we have 3 minutes to do something, but they don't say what that thing is. It's like we got like 3 minutes, and so.
And the cops are still like, whoa.
They pull out the other side of the tunnel and they're like, oh, there they are again. And the cops are after the big lorry now, and it's like,
yeah, they've got 2 sports cars with 2 grappling hooks dug into the safe.
Yeah, it's not a lorry.
It's a giant safe with 2 grappling hooks being dragged by the cars, and they're just using it like a weapon. And I think, and this is my theory, Zack Snyder ripped them off in Batman vs Superman.
When he's dragging the car behind him?
when he drags the car behind him, just wrecking shop.
They somehow, even though they're street racers and criminals, they kill fewer people.
Oh yeah, Batman killed way more people than him.
I mean, if anything, that's just ripping off Just Cause 2. But
True.
So anyway,
you can do that.
There should have been a scene in Fast 5 where they stop and they attach a cable to a person and just drag him along the road for like a mile.
And all the while he's alive, but blood's just coming out of him like a fountain. Help me! And
I've got a La Familia.
like just gallons of blood are just bumping out of his skin and like a fountain,
That's what
but
the
it
3
doesn't
minutes
die.
is for. Alright, we got these grappling hooks rented for another hour. This is the only free time we have.
We've all been working hard. We all deserve this.
So anyway,
What a great game.
what if first they pull a switcheroo? The cops like they catch up to the cars and derail it, and the Rock's like, "I got the safe," and he goes over.
Vin Diesel gets away because the Rock respects Vin Diesel because he was able to beat him in one fist fight.
Yeah, he's like, "You nearly killed me with that wrench, but you didn't kill me with that wrench.
I'm gonna let you go this
I'm gonna
time.
let you go."
And it turns out Vin Diesel just missed. He had a bad shoulder.
He's got a lot of brain damage.
He was like gonna beat this guy to death. The wrench hits the ground.
He's got
just
no
like,
flexibility in the arms. You see, he's all massive.
yeah, it's just so much muscle that he just misses. I'll let you live this time.
He's like one of those action figures that don't have a shoulder joint upward.
Speaking of, could you pass me that vice very quickly?
Why?
Why?
John's got his balls caught in a vice.
Speaking of,
Oh no!
There's
so anyway,
a
they pull a
vice in the
switcheroo,
room, by the way.
and they get away with the money. The La Familia get away with the money.
John,
they're
you're
all
interfering
rich.
with my
They-
stuff.
And
Put it
then
away.
there's a funny gag where it's the black guy's like, I bought one of these cars and there's only
That's the
3 of them
sixth
on this hemisphere. No,
Is it?
it's the ending of the 5th one, Jack.
I know they have something like
I watched
that.
these recently, for God's sake.
I've watched them since they came out in theaters.
So, the black guy's like, yeah, I got a car. There's only 3. This is going to get really racist. I have a car. There's only 3 of them on this side of the hemisphere. Or on this hemisphere. And then the girl's like, ooh. And then his friend,
The other
black
black
guy, pulls up in the same car.
Yeah,
and he's
Tyrese.
like, yeah, I got the other one of the 3 that are in this hemisphere. And she goes, woo. And then they look at each other like bros and like, yeah. And
Should've
then
just
they
cut to
race.
Vin Diesel.
I would have rather if the other black friend turned up and just keyed his car.
You did a drive-by key.
I'm the only one in this hemisphere that's not keyed. Alright, so we get to Furious 6 now, because this is where it gets real good. 5 was good, but 6 is maybe my favourite. So it turns out, Lemmy, is that her name?
Lemony Snicket.
Lemony Snicket. It turns out Lemony Snicket isn't dead, unfortunately.
oh god damn it!
I'm not going to start about that dickhead. Turns out the Rock's girl isn't dead, and we cut back to his wedding with her. And he's so Italian American that he had his wedding in a wife beater.
I thought he was Spanish.
And he's Italian American.
Okay.
He wore his big gold chain. Maybe. What are you guys looking at? They're looking at the laptop.
Batman doing all these things.
Oh, I've seen that.
Oh yeah, guys, if you want to see that, I've shared it on our Twitter.
Have you ever seen the thing? It's from Mortal Kombat 10, but every single character doing the aliens animation. And for some reason, they have all of the different character skins on the aliens character model, like the Xenomorphs character model. And the Xenomorphs intro as it drops to the ground, pops up, and then shoots the blades out of its forearms. But for some reason, the way
That's
that
Baraka.
no, it's
Oh,
the Xenomorph.
sorry.
It's the Xenomorph.
No, but he chest bursts Baraka. That's why he has the wrist blades.
But for some reason, the way it's meshed up, every other character drops to the ground and then just really dramatically pops up their middle fingers. and there's like a crunching noise when they pop up. But every single character, I watched it. It's like a 10-minute video of just dropping, like Sub-Zero just dropping to the ground, going, and just popping both of his middle fingers and like aggressively pointing them. It's really weird.
Oh god. Where were we?
Fast and Furious 6.
Alright, so Vin Diesel has his wedding in a white theater.
Which reminds me, our sponsor for today is Mortal Kombat 9.
Sure, 10 is out, but why not play 9 again?
Yeah.
It was good enough.
Mortal Kombat 9. At least good enough.
Mortal Kombat 9 is amazing. What are you talking about?
At least good enough.
It's real good. Anyway, so Vin Diesel has his wedding, and we think Lemmy's dead, but she's not. She's working for some British guy.
Oh no.
She's been brainwashed. She has amnesia and didn't die in the crash. Vin Diesel has to go to London because there's an evil version of his crew now, who are also extreme street racers.
Led by Gaston.
Oh, you mean
Luke Evans.
Luke Evans.
You mean Bard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean what else has Luke Evans been in?
Dracula.
Yes, we mean that guy.
Dracula Untold. Yeah.
You mean Dracula from Dracula Untold?
Yes, it's Dracula turns up. So they gotta go around the world chasing these guys.
The game begins.
The game's afoot.
It is weird how much Luke Evans looks like Orlando Bloom. Like it's kind of like uncanny how like he's got the exact Orlando Bloom 2003 beard and he's never shaved it, so he just looks exactly like Orlando Bloom all the time.
He's got a wider head and less of a fish face, I think.
True, but like if I was Luke Evans, I'd probably shave the beard because like it makes him look more like Luke Evans, but he'd probably also want to look less like Orlando Bloom.
I don't know, if I give him the chance, I'd look more like Orlando Bloom. The guy's real good looking. Sorry, real good looking.
He's real good. Yeah, it hurts so much for you to say that.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings for fucking nerds. Back to Fast and the Furious.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
He's
Fast and the Furious.
Fast and the Furious. La Familia.
He's probably in them.
La Familia. Anyway, they're racing around. They're having a good time. And at one stage, they've got to fight a tank. Because they fought every kind of car there
With
is.
cars, though.
With cars.
We're gonna do it?
We're gonna need a bigger car.
We're gonna need a bigger car.
Vin Diesel somehow takes down the tank, but Lemmy, his girl, sent flying off the side.
This is the greatest one in the entire series.
They're on two highways, side by side, over some cliffs. She's sent flying away, so Vin Diesel gets on the hood of his car, jumps off his car, somehow catches up to her, catches her midair, lands on another car and catches her in his
Crushes
arm.
her bones.
No, it's on his back though. She lands on him.
Yeah.
But he's not phased.
What, like he's fucking Tarzan? Just
It's like the
That's
scene.
exactly what Vin Diesel sounds like.
I'm Groot.
So, Vin, what was it like? What was it like filming Guardians of the Galaxy 2, knowing that like you only had one line and they put it through a huge like distorter, so like you're barely even in the movie. Yeah, that explains it.
You just make him slightly deeper, and you can have his Vin Diesel mumble growl. Left quarter mile an hour.
what were you doing?
So, proving once and for all, Vin Diesel can't be injured when he's in contact with a car.
They further prove that later on.
Later
which
on.
I won't spoil. I'll let Jack tell that.
Alright, so now they gotta fight, what's his name? The evil Dracula Untold. What are they looking at? They keep looking at videos
Sorry,
slightly out of
Like,
my
no,
video.
keep talking.
You mean Vin Petrol?
Yes, Vin Petrol.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Sorry. Okay, I just spat on you, I'm sorry.
Okay, Jack liked my Vin Petrol comment so much that he just full on spat on my shirt.
That shows how good it was. Anyway, they have to fight a plane.
Guys, you can't keep doing this every time I'm looking at something.
Once again, we are on an audio podcast, therefore the viewers at home can't see this.
I just started looking at this kind of, I think it's a fan made
She's watching a lot of Hitler rallies and laughing way too hard. Like it's really upsetting.
Yeah, Triumph of the Will is like her favorite
Lego
comedy.
game, so I was just looking at that and they all got real interested and I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, you know the funniest part about Triumph of the Will? It has a female director. Good one, history.
Got him. Anyway, sorry, back to this. They've already fought a tank. They've already fought big cars.
What's next?
They gotta fight a plane with cars. They fight.
Police cars
But,
on the
and you say,
longest-
well, you know, that would be spectacular. Somehow they contrived a reason for cars to be flying through the skies over Manhattan or something while they're
With-
playing and they have to take it down. But they don't do that.
No, they're just...
It's a plane on a highway.
No.
It has no advantage other than the fact
cars
That
are
would have
gonna
been
fly
so
around.
fucking good if it's just the world's biggest ramp that they just flying up and they've got
taking turns. Every time he's like took it and he missed and he just crashed. I was like, shit. Okay,
You guys got
Don,
this
you're
one.
up next. That was like, oh good.
The pilot of the plane is just going, we got a strange holy shit, it's a car!
There's something on the way.
Pull down in front of me. He's honking the plane's horn.
So they fight on the world's
Get out
longest
of the
runway.
sky, asshole!
Also, we forgot the most important detail of all of this, and that is now The Rock is working with La Familia.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's an uneasy truce. They're friends now. They fight Dracula and they save the plane or blow up the plane or something with the plane. That's the end of the sixth one.
But Vin Diesel walks out of the flaming wreckage of the plane completely unscathed.
He was in his car when it crashed.
It proves that cars are both completely destructible and indestructible
Exactly.
when needed.
Also, somebody calculated online, but for the ramp, it'd have to be the longest
Highway.
Runway.
runway in the world for it to go on that 20-minute sequence.
Yeah, they're
Before it
20
takes
minutes on
off.
a runway going full pelt.
They're going to be turning every
It's just a big, like, fucking airplane roundabout.
They got get like the taxi things that attach to the back of the plane to make a reverse. Like, okay, we're backing up. It's like, this is our chance, guys. Get it.
We're gonna get them. That brings us to Fast 7, which Paul Walker died. Well,
Sorry, guys. Johnson is coming back to Doctor Who as the Master. Had to say that.
Wait, what?
Nice!
Yeah.
Did you just say John Sim is coming back to Doctor Who as the Master playing?
But
Late April Fool's joke. God, you know, it's
with
actually real.
Missy.
Oh, I am so fine with that.
He's got a paradox machine. It's cool. Two of them can exist.
I only just scrolled up on Twitter, I saw it, and everyone freaked out, okay?
No, it just reminded me because I heard about it.
Hang on there.
That's amazing. That is some of the best news I've heard all week, and I got into two columns.
I'm going to be
That's
honest,
great.
having seen all of the Masters, like Roger Delgado, like all of them, John Sim is the Master. He's the best one.
You've seen the other ones?
Yeah. I feel like Derek Jacobi would, well, actually, it's...
With your chung and your dough. That's all my Derek Jacobi.
with your chan and your tho.
Yeah.
Driving me insane!
What did I say?
Chung in your dough. that was actually way more racist. It sounded like you were just doing stereotypical Chinese names.
I mean, Derek Jacobi is from a different time, you know.
So one time I got an Asian companion.
And she was a blue alien who died immediately.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Hey,
Dr.
what about in what about
should.
in the Paul McGann TV movie where the Master had an Asian companion who
Does the
died?
Master also have companions a bit?
Yeah, doesn't he? In the movie, he takes someone's body like, while they're having sex or something.
He turns
and then she gets up and goes, "What are you doing, honey?" And then he goes, "Don't call me honey, call me the Master."
And she goes, all right, honey. Or whatever you say, the Master.
In the Paul McGann TV movie, the Master is executed by the Daleks for his crimes against humanity. The Doctor decides to take his crimes against Time Lordidity. The Master takes his ashes on. The Doctor takes his ashes on board the TARDIS, and then it turns out it was a ruse, and the Master has actually turned himself into a floaty green ghost snake.
Yeah, his ashes kind of turn into venom at one stage and climb out of their own urn.
So this floaty green ghost snake escapes onto the streets of it escapes onto the streets of New York, possesses this American guy who really can't act, and then he starts running with this harebrained scheme to steal all of the Doctor's
Wait, so what's the name of the
regeneration.
Doctor in that movie?
Paul McGann.
Paul McGann. I didn't like him in that movie, but have you seen that?
The Night of the Doctor.
Night of the Doctor is spectacular.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Oh,
but
so
it's just such a good. It's such a
You
brilliant.
forgot
TV
about the
movie.
best scene where who was the previous Doctor?
Sylvester McCoy. Sylvester McCoy lands in the streets of New York.
time in America.
He walks out of the TARDIS and just gets fucking gunned down by a SWAT team.
Immediately.
There's 7 guys with submachine guns and they line them up.
Yeah, isn't it
Yeah.
gangsters?
Yeah,
It's Dominic Toretto and his crew.
They just light him up with submachine guns.
Was there like Did this happen in a parallel
No.
reality? Because it feels like everyone here has seen it.
It's canon.
I somehow have not.
You haven't seen it.
Don't worry.
I've
It
only
was
seen the first 20
considered.
minutes.
It was considered to be the canon ending of Doctor Who until the restart in 2005.
Yeah, he gets a beautiful girl on the back of a motorbike, kisses her, and drives off, and fireworks go off.
There's also
He
a
drives
scene
off
in
to
it
the
where
sunset.
the girl is like, well, fuck, I don't want to help this weird doctor guy anymore. And she's trying to call the police. And the doctor is outside and he's going, but fucking whatever your name is, the walls of time are collapsing or whatever. And he walks through a pane of glass for no reason.
Oh yeah, for some reason it
Stephen
gives him.
Moffat was right, he'd just say because he's the doctor.
It says immediately after his regeneration he has super strength. So there's a scene, they put Sylvester McCoy's body in the morgue, he regenerates. And then there's a guy working in the morgue who's just like every time in a movie where a guy in the morgue wakes up, there's a guy in the morgue just listening to his Walkman or another day, another dollar, another day in the morgue. Hey, lots of corpses, I'm talking to you because I work in the morgue and I'm desensitized to death. And then he hears a hammering on a metal door and Paul McGann, wearing a bathrobe wrapped around his waist, just punches down a 2-inch deep steel door, and he's just standing there with the bathrobe with blue glowing eyes staring at the guy.
I love how they keep making up superpowers for the doctor to have every time he's after regenerated. Sometimes he can regrow limbs.
When Matt Smith regenerated, he took down a whole fleet of Daleks.
Dalek.
Yeah, he just shot his regeneration energy into the sky like a big
Blew his
yellow
energy
lightning.
To be
into
fair, when he regrew the limb, I thought that
That
made
was sweet.
sense.
Yeah.
I thought that
The
worked.
hand.
Yeah, but why?
So that they could set the hand up as a MacGuffin that they didn't know what to do with yet.
And then they gave it to
And then they-
Torchwood, and
And then they did use it.
Yeah, then they did use it.
They used it a shit ton of times in Torchwood as the Doctor detector,
Yeah.
and then the Master used it in his master plan.
And then
in
we
Master
got
of the
the
Diamonds.
David Tennant clone from it when he
Yeah.
put the regenerative energy
They
into it.
get their money's worth from that hand.
When did the master use it?
He used it to regenerate himself or something.
No, he used it to make the laser screwdriver that could make the Doctor age.
Yeah.
He needed the Doctor's.
yeah.
He needed the Doctor's biometric code, which he got from the hand.
Yeah.
Fuck, that episode's so good.
It's so good, though.
He takes over the world.
It's my favorite episode.
And he kills 1/10 of the population. Or
Yeah,
something.
that's so fucking great. Oh, man.
And he puts the people of the who are going to Utopia on the planes in to the probe things.
He cuts their heads
Yeah.
off and puts
Yeah.
them in metal.
And then there's that
heads,
scene
yeah.
where it's like they open up one of them.
Yeah, and it's just
It's a brain.
and it turns out that head belongs to the little 10-year-old Welsh boy,
Yeah.
or Scottish boy that Martha had been speaking to before, and he remembers her and starts laughing about how he murdered all of his ancestors.
And they literally go, but why are you killing everyone? And he says, because it's fun. And he starts laughing.
And then Tom Milligan shoots him in the face. It's like a 10-year-old
New
boy.
Doctor Who is so neutered down. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
And
good shit.
actually, think of it now. It is funny how the Master essentially made his own Daleks.
Yeah.
And you know how they were brainwashed into all
Flying
this hate
death
and
orbs.
stuff. And yeah.
But Davros, who was Space Hitler, made the Daleks
From Space Hitler.
from regular people into metal fascist racists who hated everything, whereas the Master, who's Space Joker, took humanity and turned them into weird floaty comedian serial killers.
More like Space Riddler, but yeah.
No, I think he's Space Joker. It depends on the Master.
Alright.
Like Roger Delgado is more like...
because we went on a super tangent there.
I like to think
yeah.
he's Space Meal Martin.
We're getting topical.
Oh my!
Oh, politics. Oh.
How so?
Meal Martin just reminds me of the Master whenever I see his fucking face. It's creepy.
I thought you were making some kind of comment.
Yeah,
No, there's no political
we're getting
behind that.
political on this bitch.
Meanwhile, Martin McGuinness kind of looks like the Doctor when he's aged to his limit.
Does
Also,
that
fun fact
wait? Does that
about
make?
Hobbity
Oh,
Rinky
does that
Man.
make? Does
What?
that?
Meal Martin, he drinks green tea.
Why?
Is
Would you bring that up
to a
you dumb
joke?
shit?
No, I swear to God,
Why the fuck do you know that?
Because I was working at the
Can we get back to Fast and the Furious at some stage?
right after I tell you why Meal Martin
Tell your
drinks
amazing
tea.
tea story then.
We're
Fast
dropping
and
some
Furious.
real Irish politics exposés here.
Yeah, I think
All four of our
the
listeners,
rest
I
of
hope you
Meal
enjoyed
Martin
this.
is
All four of our listeners, I hope you're from Ireland, otherwise this isn't going to make any sense.
Yeah. So anyway, Micheál Martin. I'm doing this thing with IFA, and they're doing an official launch of the IFA.
What's
So I'm
IFA?
Clang.
Irish Drum Academy.
Continue.
And they're doing this official launch, even though it's been active for 4 months at this stage. And I'm pouring champagne, I'm setting the glasses down and stuff like that. And Rachel's there, and she's like, "Oh, Micheál Martin's."
Who's Rachel?
Rachel! Where's Rachel?
Rachel, it's gonna be okay. They're gonna save you. We're gonna find you.
And he still doesn't know where Rachel is.
Sorry, continue.
So she's like, yeah, Micheál Martin's coming. So then Micheál Martin arrives, and then I'm approached by, I think it's one of Rachel's friends or something, who also works in the FA, and she's like,
What's her name?
let's call her Beatrice.
That's a shit name.
So Beatrice comes over to me and she's like, do you have any green
Her
tea? And I'm
apologies
like,
if your
no,
name's
I don't think we
Beatrice.
do. And she's like, well, I think he really likes green tea and he doesn't seem to drink normal tea. And I'm like, that's really unfortunate. So Rachel has to go down and like drive to Merchant's Quay and pick up some fucking green tea for this ass.
Okay, so you're now publicly calling Micheál Martin an asshole after privately going out of your way to accommodate him.
Back to Fast and the Furious 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who wants to take this one? Aiden, you got this?
From what I remember, British Jason Statham goes to other British brother.
Jason Mirren.
What?
He's Helen Mirren's son. In Fast and the Furious.
That's a Fast 8. God damn
Yeah,
it,
wait,
John.
but that hasn't been
We
revealed
haven't
yet.
gotten to that
right?
yet. So Jason Statham, the transporter.
Jason
And he
Mirren.
goes, "Don't fucking worry, bro. I'll sort out this shit."
Oh,
and then he leaves, and then he goes to the doctors. Make sure you take care of my brother.
Does
And
he
then-
like destroy the hospital?
Yeah, he walks out, and then it's all these people in the hospital just like fucking wrecked. Like they're all just like broken limbs, just lying all over the place.
Throw a grenade.
Yeah, there's a bit where the not swastika, right? Just to
The
clarify.
Nazis come flying.
Some guy in a SWAT fucking outfit or whatever comes over, like wanders over to him, and I think he picks up a grenade and hands it to him, and then just goes, "Take care of that" or something. Walks off as the guy explodes.
Why does the guy just hold on to it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Like that is an easily solved problem. Just like roll it down an empty corridor.
We cut to The Rock, who's in the office with his partner, and she's like, "Well, Rock, I'm quitting for the night. Have a good night. I bet nothing's gonna happen
Oh,
to
yeah.
you.
I remember
Have a good one." And then Jason Statham appears in The Rock's office.
And that's like, and this part, I'll believe cars flying out of buildings.
Yeah.
I don't believe Jason Statham can take down the Rock. And
You've got a 150-pound man fighting a 300-pound gorilla man who's made of muscle.
Yeah, it's
Although Jason Statham is a martial artist, but
even so.
The Rock is invulnerable. It's a Luke Cage and Iron Fist thing. Luke Cage would be a great martial artist and whatnot, but Iron Fist is a great martial artist, but Luke Cage is invulnerable. You can't break him.
Not invulnerable, he just has unbreakable skin. There's a difference.
It's good enough.
if
Anyway,
you get acid.
so what we're saying is The
yeah.
Rock is invulnerable as well, but somehow loses.
Can Luke Cage's skin be set on fire?
Yes.
Yeah,
It won't do anything.
They blew him up in
Yeah.
Jessica Jones. He just walked away.
Yeah, but his shirt burned off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we've established his shirt isn't it?
Yeah, his pants stayed on somehow.
Just need to make
I'm
some
really sick of
invulnerable
buying new
shirts
clothes.
for
This episode is sponsored by Invulnerable Shirts. They're real good. Buy
invulnerable
some.
shirts for Luke
By
Cage.
Edna Mode.
We need them.
Edna Mode. And guess. Anyway,
Hey, back to Fast and the Furious.
Man, how great is The Incredibles?
so fucking.
No,
That's an episode
no.
for a different day, John.
I personally think it's the best Pixar film.
Yeah,
so
I-
who's your
I
favorite
also
character?
think that.
Who's your favorite character from The Incredibles?
No. Fast and the Furious. La
I'm a-
Familia.
I'm a-
La Familia.
What
La Familia.
Is there anything more about La Familia than The Incredibles?
La Familia.
It's literally about La Familia.
It is a big rock. It is a big white guy just punching his way around. He
Also,
got me
Jack, you
there.
can totally cosplay as Mr. Incredible.
I totally could, can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
You,
the
you
tiny
need
hair.
to do different hair, right?
Yeah.
No, Mr. Incredible has the tiny hair.
But he's not like ginger.
Yeah, he's blonde, but you know, it's an easy.
I'm strawberry blonde. It's good enough.
Sure, that's just a ginger in denial. Jeff,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm half ginger. I'm like Blade. I hunt and kill other ginger. Point.
Interestingly enough, they also call you the Daywalker, but only because you can go outside without getting sunburned.
Yeah. Well, no, without bursting into flames. I do still get slightly sunburned. Anyway, back to Fast and Furious, please. Let's just get through one.
We got through like six.
I mean, one more movie without being brought along on a tangent because we keep going off.
Yeah, that's because who gives a shit about Fast and Furious, man?
They're the greatest movies ever made, and I will fight anybody in the car park on top of the car who says otherwise.
They're not.
You're
To the car park right now.
I think you guys should car surf while fighting. You know.
All right. Do you know the Joyce O'Donnell fight?
Who dat?
That's good enough.
Anyway.
I call you Junkie Joe Joyce.
Anyway, Vin Diesel and the crew are being hunted by Jason Statham because they killed his brother.
You dirty, squeaky, rat poison bastard, yes.
So they decide to go work for Kurt Russell to find a piece of software that will allow them to track Jason Statham. But here's my problem with this. One problem. Literally everywhere they go, Jason Statham turns up anyway.
Yeah.
They could literally just sit around in that garage, wait for him to turn up, and fight him like they did The Rock.
Also, it's a really big plot point in the movie that Kurt Russell goes, "You got to try this Belgian beer, man," and then Vin Diesel goes, "No, I'll stick to Corona." But he keeps bringing it up.
Fresh Corona. Fucking
And yeah, that's it as well. He goes, "You got to try this Belgian beer," and he's like, "I'm more of a Corona man." And Kurt Russell like raises an eyebrow and then picks up a cooler full of Corona.
Just had it on
that he just had hanging,
Yeah.
but just behind the crate near him.
There's the same shit in all of them. They're fighting on cars. What's the big action thing at the end this time? They jump out of the Dubai building.
Tony Jaa fights fucking CGI Paul Walker.
Alright. The Rock gets injured after his fight, flexes his way out of a cast.
Oh yeah, he
There was a
does.
plot point though earlier on where they're like, this is going to take 6 months to heal. They cut to The Rock 3 weeks later in the hospital with his daughter, and he's like, "Honey, it's time for Daddy to go to work," and he flexes his way out of the cast like it's
It
nothing.
just shows that the gym heals everything.
Exactly.
Getting swole heals everything.
Yeah, just start doing some push-ups. Even if you have a broken back, doesn't matter.
You know what?
That's what Batman did in Dark Knight.
Yeah, you just punch it hard enough. Brute force, get you anything.
Getting swole takes no toll.
There's a very specific plot point I want to talk about in Fast Furious 7, right? So, there's a bit where Jason Statham sends a bomb to Paul Walker's house, and it nearly blows up Paul Walker's son, right?
Yes.
And then Vin Diesel fights fucking Jason Statham at the end of the movie, and he's got the upper hand. He's got a fucking gun or whatever.
He's on a car park full of cars.
Yeah, he
giving
could
him
beat
power.
the shit out of him, and he goes, "Nah, let's do it the fair way." This guy trying to kill your best friend's fucking son. What the
Your
fuck are you
nephew.
doing?
And then they have a pipe fight.
Yeah, a pipe.
A race pipe fight.
And my favorite line ever, because they're fighting a drone in this one. They're street racing and fighting a drone.
Jimon Hansu really wants to kill someone or
Yeah.
something.
When doesn't he?
They've hit the car park. It's unsteady.
to that soft shit.
You were raised on the streets. You can't win. He's like, that's the thing. The street always wins. And he stamps his foot and just brings down the car park.
When you fight the street always wins.
There's a big action thing there, and I cannot remember what it is.
That should have been what he did instead of, making all the Brazilians look bad. He should have gone. That's the thing about Brazil. The street always wins.
Brazil always wins.
Yeah.
He stamps his foot and all the slums start toppling down on the road.
Yeah, it's just on top of the
Breaking
hill.
news, millions homeless.
It's that big stretch.
That's the thing you forget. When you fight Rio, the Rio always wins.
Oh, that's the thing about fucking Fast and Furious 7. The big action sequence is in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
They have the bus chasing scene, and they have the fucking one where they drive through two buildings.
In the Dubai scene.
The Burj Khalifa. And the music was done by Wiz Khalifa.
And I'm going to be honest, they gave a very tasteful send-off to Paul Walker in that. It's not what I expected. You shouldn't be crying at a Fast and Furious movie.
Is it tasteful?
It is tasteful.
It's pretty tasteful.
Him and Vin Diesel, they go street racing, they drive off one last time, and he drives off into the sunset.
I want to see an edit of Paul Walker. I'm pretty sure his car actually flies off into the air. At the
No,
end.
it's
like the end of-
I might be. Yeah, that's the thing. I want to see one where Paul Walker flies off and then gets cut off by the car from Greece. And it's just
It should have really agrees like Paul Walker's flying off and he just leans out the window and starts waving at Vin Diesel. No, but you know what I think they should have done? I think they went too sentimental on it. Because I think, if they're bringing Statham back for the sequel, you got to escalate things. So it should be, it's
Statham's the one who killed Han, by the
day.
way. I forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah, it turns out he was. They
Yeah.
do that in the after credit scene. Turns out he was the one.
Yeah,
who
that was the
killed
end of 6. Sorry, go on.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And he's like driving off into the distance. Oh,
Live my love, quarter mile an hour.
goes to black.
Points at him.
Credits roll. Credits end. We go back to Paul Walker, just driving down the road. He's happy. He's heading back to his family. And then the dramatic music starts to play as Jason Statham sits up in his backseat.
Oscar Robson.
just throws piano wire over his front. And then the car crashes. Paul Walker's corpse is just thrown out the front window. Jason Statham takes out his phone, calls me, and goes,
I did it again.
Dumb, you know me. And now you're gonna extra double know me. Cut to black.
You know what? I don't like Vin Diesel's biggest thing is family,
La
right?
Familia,
La
yeah.
Familia. And
He goes from a man
and
doesn't care
Jason
about family,
Statham
the
is
rest of us.
fighting Vin Diesel because of family. I don't understand why they can't come to some sort of family alliance.
Speaking of mothers, the next movie.
Why did you say that name?
The next movie, the villain for it, is Jason Statham's mother,
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren.
Wait, and where does Charlize Theron? Is she Jason Statham's sister? Or
I'd like to imagine she is, but she's also the one turning Vin Diesel evil. Because spoilers, this is what the next movie is about, and that's what I think we should talk about next.
Vin Diesel is evil.
Vin Diesel might be portraying La Familia.
Vin Evil, you might say.
More like Vin crude oil.
Or like Sin Diesel.
More like Vin Diesel's evil.
More like he's a dickhead.
A literal dickhead. He looks like a dick.
His head looks like a male genitalia.
That's a plot point in Preacher. But spoilers for the Preacher comic. But Star, he gets in a fight with someone and they cut across the top of his head. And he's a bald ass dude. So there's a great page.
His head looks like a penis.
Yeah, you know the 9-panel layout from Watchmen?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's 9 panels and it's the same picture of Star looking in the mirror. And then the last one says the Preacher was saying, fuck.
Alright, so.
You still haven't given me issue 3 of Preacher. Just want to bring this up on the podcast. Yeah.
Oh, you want to find
pressure
out?
into it.
I've just been waiting for about a year. You know, it's,
There's a car park outside. Let's go find out that.
Yeah, whatever. I don't want to. I just want to bring it up on public forums and embarrass you.
Just ask me for it.
Alright, so with Fast and the Furious 8 coming out next week, I think we should go around the table pitching our theories why Vin Diesel.
No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because we can't do that because Planet the Death Star did it weeks ago.
It's been long enough that I think we can do it.
Let's just do the Wacky Racers.
No, you know,
Fine, we'll do Wacky Races. You twisted my arm.
I feel like now that we've spent the whole thing going over the previous ones, I feel like we got to look at what the next one might be.
Thank you.
Because you know what, like as ridiculous as the Fast and Furious franchise is, it's too ridiculous to say that 2 of the crew members have changed sides at some point because they forget who they are. I don't understand.
And there were a couple.
You see, I got my.
Are they just like prone to like go to hypnosis sessions for no reason?
Yeah, amnesia is sexually transmitted disease. People don't have sex
It's
with
an
amnesia.
STD. Alright, so.
You should probably get tested. Sorry?
I've been thinking.
It's a terrible joke.
Oh, by the way, can I just say the sequence in? Yes, I can. The sequence in the next.
you can't.
The sequence in the next Fast and Furious movie, where a submarine breaks out of the ice and then starts attacking them while they're driving along the ice, is literally a scene in Just Cause 2.
I was going to say it's right out of Call of Duty Ghosts. They do the exact same thing.
Okay, well, Ghost stole it from Just Cause 2 because there's a moment in Just Cause 2 where you have.
Well, which one was a better game?
Just Cause 2.
It was Just Cause 2.
There's a scene in Just Cause 2 where you need to attack this mountain fortress, and after you destroy the fortress, you have to hijack this convoy of cars that's driving across a bunch of like ice, a frozen lake, and then a nuclear submarine bursts out of the ice and starts shooting rockets at you. That's what happens in Fast 8, like.
But it's fine because they're in cars. The nukes won't affect them.
It's true, yeah.
The cars give them powers.
Yeah, I just love the idea that just Vin Diesel like just touches a car, he just instantly gets like superpowers.
You know how Superman gets his powers from the sun? Vin just gets his from a car.
That should have been how the Fast and Furious fight in 7 ended. Instead of him using the street to win, like a weird episode of Yu-Gi-Oh or some shit, he should have just
Trust in the street, Luke.
he should have just put his hand on the car and pulled out just a belt of grenades and pulled them all at once.
Hold these for me, would you?
And Statham's like, oh, it's a callback.
Boy, so this is what it feels like. I don't know why my Statham's Australian.
I think it's from like, it's, you know, Ang Lee's Hulk, you know, with the daddy, and he touches something and it goes under his skin.
The Absorbing Man, played by Nick Nolte in
Played by Nick Nolte.
in what is probably
From, like X-Men, you know, just absorbs the powers, you know, from the car.
played by Nick Nolte in what is undoubtedly the Nick Nolteest of any Nick Nolte
There
character.
should have been a skin for Infamous Second Son where you get to play
His
Nick Nolte.
eyes are headlights.
Alright, so when are we getting the crossover that I've been waiting for? And that is Fast and Furious meets Triple X.
No one's asking for that.
I think.
But you know what we do? We
Triple X
take.
isn't good enough though. Fast and Furious is.
Triple X is so good.
No, there's a really big quality divide there.
Triple X.
Don't shit talk Triple X.
Yeah, that's spectacular. There's a scene in
No,
Triple
it's
X.
terrible, but
There's a scene in Triple X where they do like this weird hand salute as they're like hello, and then Vin Diesel somehow figures out, hey, I'll do that. That way, who's the girl from Orange is the New Black with the funny hair?
oh, Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose can shoot through his hand, turned this way to take out the target. That is a major plot point in that, and it is never explained why they know how to do this.
I like that.
It's real good.
But what about the second one where Ice Cube is the Triple X?
That's what I was going to say. I think there should be a crossover exclusively with the second one.
Have you seen
Just
Return of
Ice Cube.
Xander Cage?
No.
I'm going to spoil the Return of Xander Cage. In that,
How did they explain how he survived?
Everybody's all Vin's crew are trapped in a building. They're surrounded. Everybody's shooting. They've all teamed up. They're going back to back, but they're not going to win. They all think they're dead, and this is the end. And suddenly, a rocket launcher is fired. This like a rocket hits the guys shooting. What the fuck's happening? We see Ice Cube step out with a rocket. I swear to God. What? Another member of the Triple X said that. Do you see him at one stage? They're like, text this number if you really need help because I can't be here.
Oh my God!
And then the very end. You know Uncharted 3 where Nathan Drake gets out of the plane and he's like
hanging onto like the cargo.
They do that. That's how Xander Cage survives the plane explosion. When he used the plane to shoot down a drone, which is great. No, sorry, shoot down a satellite.
It went into orbit, presumably.
Anyway,
Wait a minute, that's also taken from Just Cause 2.
he gets there. And
Why are all of the current action movies of today ripping off Just Cause 2?
He gets there and you think he's dead. What are you doing?
No, my Twitter's freaking out.
That doesn't matter. He gets there and you think Vin's dead, and Ice Cube pulls up in the car again. And my theory is he gets the power from cars again to get back up. And like, man,
From the movie Cars? Or?
yes.
Wait,
He's got like a tiny light in his pocket.
Wait, do you mean he gets powers from the Pixar movie Cars?
Yeah, I'm saying he just thinks Mater is a secret agent and he's able to use that to stop them.
Then Xander Cage turns to Ice Cube and he's like, "Hey, we should work together sometime." Yeah, dog, that sounds cool. And that's how the movie ends.
Wait a minute. That might actually explain something.
I swear to God.
Oh my!
Okay, hang on.
Oh my God!
Do you need a moment?
I think
Is that not the best thing ever?
Dan, there's a massive puddle around your legs. I'm very worried.
we can't tell what color it is, but neither is
There's still fluid coming out of you. Oh God. What are you drinking?
Man, my crotch has been busted
Well,
for a
about
leak.
the Triple X one, but Triple X 2, man. He's like, Bob diddly Bob Bacon. That's the only line I remember from it. It's so funny.
Alright, can we get... Well, we do Wacky Races then. I was thinking, we do a Wacky Races style race.
Hang on.
Who is the best pop culture racer?
If Dom can draw power from the movie Cars in the way that Aidan just described, it might explain why he doesn't kill the Rock. As he's standing over the Rock and he's raised the wrench up, he remembers when Lightning was about to win the race, but he went back to ensure that the blue guy could finish his last race. And he remembers that moment of compassion, and he just goes, Lightning's compassion at the end of the first movie, and he chooses to save the Rock's life.
That's why he has a little tear at the end. He goes, "I'm not going to kill you," and he kind of breaks his voice a bit.
But
Not
Vin
gonna
Diesel breaks his
kill
voice,
you.
says like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you, Bob.
Alright, who is the best movie racer?
Wait, really quick.
Go.
Last thing on Triple X 2. The only scene I've seen from it is straight out of Minority Report, where someone is describing the plot to Ice Cube as he's taking a lot of meat out of a fridge, and then he hides in the fridge while the people come in with the infrared sensors.
Yeah, it does do that.
That sounds like something from Black Dynamite.
It probably is.
Okay. Who's the best movie racer?
Okay, let me.
I think we all pitch a few racers.
Okay.
Wacky
Fast
Racing
9.
style, who'd win?
Fast 9 is they're called in by the CIA because they know they're criminals, but they're the only ones.
Let me pitch my Fast
What?
8.
But they're the only ones who can defeat this new threat. There's an Asian.
I thought there was a character called Fast 9 that you were telling us about.
There's an Asian terrorist using a souped-out Japanese car who's been wreaking havoc
Shit!
across Mexico,
Wait.
and he's only known by the moniker Speed.
Yes.
That is Speed Racer,
Okay.
doing a series of violent bank heists across New Mexico. and they have to stop him with their cars. But he has the ultimate car. And that's how you finish the series.
Let me get in on this. Vin Diesel, over these movies, has slowly just been turning into a weird gorilla man, in my opinion. He can talk less,
Why
he
do you
just kind of
keep
hunches over.
Why do you keep saying gorilla?
Anyway, hear me out.
Have you just been listening to the new gorilla singles?
I listened to one. Anyway, hear me out.
Saturn Fires is really
They
good.
catch up with him. Vin Diesel jumps onto the backside of
Onto the boot.
onto the boot of Speed Racer, and you think he's going to beat him up, and suddenly the boot opens, and the chimp, which we've replaced with a gorilla this time, who's beaten a small child to death, crawls out, and Vin Diesel on the back of Speed Racer's car has to fight a gorilla.
And at the end,
The crew's like, should we help? No. I gotta do this myself.
at the end of the movie, it turns out that from the same facility where Speed stole his supercar, they were experimenting on the gorilla with an experimental cure for Alzheimer's. And his name is Caesar.
Caesar's in a gorilla.
He is now.
Couldn't he just be another one of the apes there? He doesn't have to be.
It's Caesar. He's a gorilla now. You know how originally Speed Racer had a chimpanzee? Well, now Speed Racer has a gorilla. You know how Caesar was originally a chimpanzee?
Well, now he's a gorilla.
Now he's a fucking gorilla.
Quick side note, because you talk about car driving through New Mexico. Apropos of nothing, I'm pretty sure the plot of the movie The Last Stand with Arnold Schwarzenegger is that this criminal has stolen the fastest car in the world, and he's driving across America so fast the CIA can't keep up with him, and Arnold Schwarzenegger has to take him down.
Wait, so is he driving faster than their motion sensors, like in Fast
Yeah, I
Five?
assume so. Like faster than any plane, presumably. Like I don't understand.
You know,
Anyway,
I'm kind
go
of
on.
disappointed now because I have never heard of that film.
Oh, really? Oh, Johnny Knoxville was in it. I don't think it's good, but he's in it.
Alright, who's the best movie racer?
No, what would we?
Mel
What would we
Gibson.
say?
No,
We came
sorry,
up with a
racist,
bunch of them
sorry.
last week.
Yeah, no, I think we get in all the movie racers, and if they were to race Wacky Racers
Well, yeah.
style,
So
who would
if
win?
we had,
I guess it's Ed Norton in American History X.
Oh, right, no.
you're gonna have to explain that one, John.
Yeah,
I thought sorry, Racer. I stole Aiden's joke because no one was paying attention.
But it's on the podcast, like people listening to this can hear.
not even the listeners were paying attention
Oh,
to you.
come on, guys, come on.
when you start talking, they just switch off.
Jeez, guys, this guest spot is pretty rough.
Sorry, what was that?
I thought I was the guest, right?
Wait, did you say
Right?
something?
Well, no, guys, no. Who are you? I'm fading out like in Back to the Future.
I'm happy you mentioned Back to the Future, because the first racers I'm going to mention are Doc Brown and Marty McFly in the
Are they
DeLorean.
not cheating it though?
Yeah, it seems very cheating.
To be honest,
But they can never land where they want to be anyway.
Can you imagine if it had turned out that Marty wasn't actually his dad's son, like his mother had cheated on him, so he spends the whole movie trying to set his parents up, and that's what causes him to
It was actually Biff
If he was,
in the race scene.
if he was trying to get Biff to rape his mother for the whole movie.
We've never seen John laugh this way before. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most hearty laugh I've ever seen.
oh my god.
He was just trying to convince his mother. Hey, you know, Biff's actually alright. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
In the end, when it's just his mom and Biff in the car, when he's just like cheering them on. You go, mom! Take back a chance.
He's playing the guitar.
He's playing the banjo.
And then he goes back to the future times, and Biff is his dad now.
Like the scene where, like, George McFly interrupts Biff raping his mom, and he goes, "Get out of here, McFly," or whatever.
Marty has to punch him.
Yeah, and George McFly goes, "No, Biff," and Marty McFly comes up on with the bag just over his head and takes him away.
This took a real turn. Oh my god.
Wait, does Biff try to rape his mother?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, it's a plot point. The reason that his parents ended up together was because his dad, like, punched Biff in the face to protect him. No, he didn't.
He didn't.
That's the change they make to the timeline. He changes it so his dad punched Biff in the face.
Wait, so does that mean
And
in
then
the
makes him
original
brave in the future.
timeline?
Yep.
Oh.
So
That's why she's got confidence issues in the first timeline.
Because
she's had a traumatic experience as a child. Nobody can tell her because it's the 50s.
And it's her rapist is serving as like her mechanic, and
No, her rapist is her husband's boss.
Yeah.
So even after all of this, he still owns her.
Yeah, is the implication that in the future where George McFly doesn't punch Biff, that he goes, "Get out of here, McFly," and he goes, "Okay," and stands outside the car while he waits for Biff to finish.
The creepier
And
thing.
then memories.
he does it straight afterwards. Like the moment Biff's out of the car, he just goes, "Will you marry me?"
They're playing a real nifty song in there. George McFly just took advantage of a rape victim, and it's the 50s, so he gets away with it.
Holy shit!
Come on,
This
Phil.
got real dark so
Back
fast.
to Wacky
I feel like we
Racers.
gotta put a number in the description or something, just to call
18
it.
plus.
It's fine. It's marked as explicit.
Will you marry me? She's like, no. It's like, what? You couldn't say no to Biff?
Oh my god! I was actually thinking, well, we did pretty well. We've avoided anything majorly offensive this
I
episode.
was happy I
And,
didn't have to shout at anyone this time, but no!
and that's the hour mark. Congratulations, guys. We nearly made it a full hour without making a rape joke.
I'm glad we peaked at the end instead of like somewhere in the middle. To be honest.
I wasn't here last week, and they were listening back on it. They were relatively tame.
Except for the 8th blowjob.
except for the 8th fellatio.
Honestly, I have to blame Aiden.
Yeah, I hope it's like this
Aiden.
every time I'm here. To be
Yeah.
honest.
All different kinds of animals.
Exactly, all different kind of controversial topics. you
Okay,
know?
so best racers in
Best racer. So Marty and Doc can't win because the time machine only takes them from time to time, not place to place.
So they're in the same place just a year after the race finishes.
No, but the best thing is they have to fear if they hit 88 miles an hour, they're out of the race every time.
To keep it on, just both speed and Back to the Future combined.
Yeah,
Hey,
because
so they have to keep the. So they lose because they're driving in a DeLorean that can't go over 87. And everyone else is like going in Ferraris and that's hitting 200, and they're just in a shitty car from the 70s
I think
that is only remembered
They
because
might
it looks
come,
cool.
Hey, Heron the tourist. Maybe he takes it slow and comes back
It's
to
like
win this.
you know that the major, like the whole joke in Back to the Future is that it's difficult to get a DeLorean up to 88 miles an hour. They need a fucking lightning strike to get it going.
Okay, so I'm thinking
or a
next
nuclear
up.
reactor.
I think it should be the train from Back to the Future 3.
Okay.
And so straight away they go,
Fly.
and Marcus gets set, go, and Marty's just shoveling coal into the engine.
but it can
What's wrong with
fly.
flying? You're a chicken.
Can it fly? I've never seen Back
The
to
tra-
the
yeah,
Future.
the train can fly.
Like, yeah.
It could be a normal train or it could be a flying train.
So it would have to be a flying train because it can't go on like normal roads.
Alright, who's this
No, I like the
competition?
idea of like
Jason
a normal
from
racetrack
Transporter
and then there's
series.
train tracks for no reason.
Dan's got one. Jason Statham from the Transporter series. But I think he's in the bomb car, so if he leaves the car, he explodes.
That's it. He's in the bomb car that's set by Teabag.
I'm thinking.
T-Rex, is that his name?
No, it's Teabag from Prison Break.
Obviously, we
I
gotta
thought
get
some rapper
Vinny
just
Diesel
given
in
himself
there.
a really unflattering name.
We gotta get Vinny Diesel in there and Speed Racer, because we mentioned both of them earlier. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking Batman in the Batmobile.
Nah.
Hear me out.
His driving skills are shit in Batman.
No, listen.
Right.
It's Adam West Batman.
Oh, he never got any traffic accidents.
He's a rally racer.
No, but Adam
doing
West-
judo chops and kicking.
Adam West Batman would never
Punching
street
cars.
race because it would involve breaking red lights, and he would never do that.
What about?
They gotta race to Mexico and back like in Fast 2.
What about burned face Nicky Lauda from Rush? I know he's a real
Is,
guy.
is there any
He
other
gets
kind?
halfway through the race and goes, "What's wrong with the car, Nicky?" Nothing. I'm just quitting.
Now, is
That guy can tell if something's wrong with the car by sitting with his ass cheeks, by sitting in the driver's seat.
So Nicky Lauda's race would.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
So Nicky Lauda's race, he'd come third or something, but he'd know what to do the next race. Presumably, he'd go, "Well, you fucked up in all these different parts of the car."
You know, it's weird, but I think it's because of the similar outfits. But I always confuse that movie with Boogie Nights, and they're about drastically different
They're
things.
very drastically different.
But like, I remember I was watching a scene.
One racer's just Mark. Is it Mark Wahlberg in that movie?
Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg,
Like-
dick out running after them.
Like I was watching
Oh,
a scene.
I don't know what
I saw a
you're
scene
talking
from Boogie Nights that were like when Philip Seymour Hoffman tries to come onto Mark Wahlberg, and I was like, "What does this have to do with racing?"
I always confuse Boogie Nights with Saturday Night Fever, or whichever.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
That's an understandable mistake to make. And to be honest, Saturday Night Fever sounds more like the porn one.
Yeah. There should have been like the scene where John Travolta's walking down the street. It should have just been Mark Wahlberg with his dick out, just playing just the Bee Gees over it.
Alright, James Bond and the Aston Martin.
Which one?
So he'll just
Who's the
eject,
best driver? And who's got the wackiest car?
Well, it's the V12 Vanquish, or the V12 Vanish, isn't it? The invisible.
They call it
So Brosnan.
We call it
Yeah.
Vanish.
Yeah.
It would be Brosnan. So.
Brosnan. Who else?
Who's Irish?
I'd rather see like Daniel Craig like way ahead, but for no reason pull a sick barrel roll right into the finish line.
And
It's just like Lenny or whatever it is. It's just on the road. It's just,
any other racers we're missing?
Wait, what about
I'm trying to pull up the list we made last week.
Oh
what
yeah.
about Kurt Russell from Death Proof?
oh, he's a.
Yeah,
he's not
I
fast,
mentioned this
is he?
earlier in the week when we discussed this topic.
Oh yeah, you did
I said something
Yeah.
like it was Kurt Russell's car from Death Proof, and I think it was like the Silver Surfer or something for some reason.
Hey, you know what the end?
Ghost Rider.
You know,
Ghost Rider.
Oh, Ghost Rider was
yeah.
one, yeah.
You know at the end of Death Proof when Rosario Dawson and her friends like sell their ditzy friends to that weird hillbilly.
Oh yeah, she leaves her there and never comes back.
Yeah, like what happened there?
What do you think?
Like, why were we supposed to root for Rosario Dawson when they straight out just pimped their ditzy best friend out to this random hillbilly guy without telling her?
Wait, so the plot of Death Proof, correct me it is the car is 100% safe
For the
if
driver.
and only if you're driving in the driver's seat.
Because it has
It's a stunt car.
it's got a roll cage, so no matter what you do, the guy in the driver's seat's fine. It's not meant to have passengers.
Yeah.
But if you're in the passenger seat, you have no protection. And so what he does is like
Kurt Russell just takes women around in his car and
Yeah.
it's a fucking psych, and then he gets them killed and
Yeah.
he sits next to a corpse of a lady.
and he never gets in trouble because the police come along and he's just like, it was a tragic car accident, officer, but I wasn't at fault. It's a shame she died. And they can't say magic stunt car, which actually it feels like they should.
Yeah,
do
you'd
it.
think they would do. Well, like I've never seen this register in my life. I don't know.
Did you do this on purpose?
Mister, I don't mean to alarm you, but it would appear your car is outfitted with a roll cage, but only in the driver's seat. So, yeah, you're under arrest for murder.
Bill, this car looks familiar. I saw it in that movie last night.
Wait a minute,
It's Speed Racer.
isn't this the car from that movie Death Proof?
Alright, I thought of another one.
No.
Lightning McQueen.
Lightning McQueen is the ultimate racer.
No, I was just going to
My final
say,
choice.
Jack, you know how you said Ghost Rider? Who would it be? Johnny Blaze on a motorbike, or would it be?
Or Bobby Reyes.
Yeah.
Bobby Reyes, just because Vin Diesel also drives a Mustang. And I want to see the two of them
Robbie.
like going side to side.
Robbie Reyes.
What else?
Okay.
Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Put Mad Max.
And
He's just gonna crash.
Yeah, he's just gonna crash it straight away. He can't drive for shit.
Well, to be fair, he's always driving while under the
No,
influence
it's
of
Mad Max and
schizophrenia.
Furiosa in the
Okay.
big, like,
In the war rig.
in the
yeah.
war. And my final choice.
But they've got the guitar guy just slung onto the side of the war rig.
My final
He's
choice.
just hanging on the side. Like.
Hear me out. Charles Xavier.
You were explaining this.
Alright. Ever see those things where it's like a chariot, but it's a guy pulling you?
Oh fuck! I've got the best one after
A
this.
rickshaw.
Wait,
A rickshaw.
is Quicksilver pulling him?
Yes, but no. It's not Quicksilver. It's the Juggernaut.
That makes sense.
But he's mind
half
controlling.
brothers. They're half brothers.
Yep.
So was Beast.
I actually.
Beast kind of works, but I prefer the Juggernaut. It's like, Juggernaut, they can't know I'm controlling you. Act natural. I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Good boy, Juggernaut.
He just like runs
Charles
straight.
Xavier makes a return, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually.
Juggernaut, talk them down. I'm the Juggernaut.
I pitched this one to Aiden earlier on in the week, and it's not practical at all. I just think it's funny.
Go for it.
It's Charles Xavier and Stephen Hawking in the Flintstones car.
I remember this. Yeah.
So it just wouldn't go.
They'd be there, and the legs would be like splayed out, and they'd be like,
But
hey.
why aren't you trying?
Xavier's only paralyzed from the waist down. Why would he just be like, hey?
Because he's being. Well, I mean,
You know,
I'd be like, hey, Steve.
you know who actually.
This is wave your arms for anybody.
If we're just doing fucking Wacky Racers wheelchair edition, I feel I have to add Johnny English from Johnny English Reborn. And his superpower is just lying down in the chair.
Alright, so all these racers are racing each other.
We're not finished.
Oh, hey, Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
Just in any car.
No, Mr. Glass in his wheelchair. And like, it's not even an electric wheelchair, he's just going as fast as he can, and he just ends up breaking all his fingers because he's going too fast, and they're like,
His shoulder just goes immediately on the left side.
Oh yeah, we said Duke Dastardly and Muttley.
Yes!
Yeah.
Duke Dastardly and Muttley.
Yes.
okay, now we are just ripping off South Park.
Yes.
Yeah. And Luigi and Mario.
Also,
in their cards.
From the double
no,
dash card.
No, our last one was Logan and X-23 in a car as well. So
In the big limo.
yeah, they're driving a limo. Charles Xavier is also in that car.
And he's going, fuck you, everyone else.
I'm fucking 90. Oh, can you imagine?
We're hitting fucking 90.
Okay, so I imagine this race. It's got to be across a number of different terrains.
They're going. If there's
It's got to be epic. It's got to be cross country.
There's an urban area.
Mad Max, where everybody's going through the desert.
There's a desert area, but you've also got like urban area. There's a jungle area, small town
and then you
village.
got the
There's
snow
drifting
level.
mountains.
are they driving through Zootopia for crying out loud?
There's a bit where they go through like a Brazilian slum. There's a bit where they go on Rainbow Road.
Okay,
They're
so-
doing all the shit.
Hear me out for a sec. So they're on the snow, and they keep on talking about this elusive, like the seventh racer who they haven't seen yet, and they're in the
It's got
snow.
like 20 races.
I think I know what he's going to say.
They're in the mountains and it's snowy and shit, and like they're driving, and it's like wall of snow. It starts running down the mountain after, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And like half
Juggernaut,
gets
speed
knocked
up,
out,
we're fucked.
and it's Bernie Gumble in the King Clan.
Alright, so the race starts, and who dies immediately? Mr. Glass is dead. We can't.
Charles Xavier's out. I mean, he can't.
Charles and Juggernaut are doomed.
So they're going through the urban area. They get cut off by Ghost Rider. Charles goes, "Quickly, Kane. We have to get through this area as quickly as possible." And Juggernaut just says, I'll take the short route." He goes as the crow flies just through the city. He's just running through buildings. He's 9/11ing every building he's going through until like the entire city's collapsing behind him. He finally reaches the end of the area. He's like, "Right, Charles, on to the next area, right?" And Charles is just dead. He's just got like a
girders.
He's just got like there's a chunk of rebar just stuck to his forehead. He's just,
He's having a seizure.
he has one of his seizures while they're running through a building, and Juggernaut keeps going, but his arms start windmilling. so he just takes all he's like going through a car park, and he's taking out all the concrete supports, just like as he's going along, just frothing at the mouth, like headbutting through walls. And by the end of it, he just suffocates.
So the DeLorean has fallen behind because he can't go over 88 miles an hour. Has probably broken down.
Sorry, can I just really quickly? You know that thing how if you stab someone through the head, their jaws clench? Like I got that from Shawshank. So can you imagine? No, so that is the scene in Shawshank.
No.
Yeah, you'll have to prise my teeth apart with a crowbar, that bit. But can you imagine when he gets impaled through the head with the rebar? He just does that to everyone. So Juggernaut's running. Like
Somebody in an apartment building 2 blocks away who's giving a blowjob just impales the dick.
Did anyone see the video on YouTube? I think it's a scene from Logan where Charles is after fucking freezing everyone, and Logan comes in and he's like, "Oh," and he's stabbing people. It's like, if I could save time.
I think that scene would have been way better if they just added a shit ton of fart sound effects. So he's dragging yourself along with that look of intense concentration, and there's just fart noises playing.
Guys, the Chip Joke Show was
Alright. So Max is dead. How many races does he take out when he crashes?
He's slowly making his way towards one of the gunmen.
He
And
takes
just
out
he's about to
Stephen
pop the
Hawking
claws. He just audibly shits himself in fear.
Hawking and Charles Xavier, that team are gone as well.
Oh man, I think
Imagine him just saying "Oh no" in his dial-up voice.
Oh no,
we are fucked.
I still have so much work to do.
So
So we're left with...
I never
Speed
saw
Race-
Venice.
How many are we left with? Speed Racer, the
Vin
2
Diesel.
Batmen,
Ghost Rider.
Vin Diesel, and Ghost Rider, and Charles Xavier
wait,
and
did
Logan
we
in the
already talk
limo.
Mad Max?
Yeah,
Mad Max is gone.
He crashed.
ago.
He crashed and took so many people
He
out
had to
with
take
him.
a slight left.
Logan and X-23 are still there.
Wait, is Transporter still there?
No, he was knocked out of his
He wasn't
car when
driving
Max flew
fast.
into it.
So they're going through the desert, and suddenly, after Mad Max is taken out,
Mario Bros are still there as well.
Ghost Rider suddenly does a 180, starts going back the other way, and they're like, okay, well, he's out, so who cares? And then as they're reaching the jungle area, they just hear rock music, like death metal now. It's death metal now. And Ghost Rider shows up in the war rig, but it's on fire, and it's just like
gaslight just burning up.
like that scene from Spirit of Vengeance where he like Ghost Riderifies the giant crane. He's done that to the war rig, and it's got the buzz claws from like the thing in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It just has those popping out of the front, and he's just gunning through the jungle, and everything's on fire.
You know, I was like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna beat them? Luigi's got a plan, you see. Luigi hops out of his cart, and he's like, where are you going? I'll be right at the back. And he comes out in the bus from Speed.
I was just thinking
drives
Speed,
it right into the war rig that's on fire. Does not affect it.
Luigi, witness me.
You know what? If we're talking about Speed, I think we have to include the boat from Speed 2 and just cruising along the land just for miles.
Yeah, it's busting through like the wood of the dock. Like the submarine in Fast and Furious.
Hawking's just on it, just like getting a free ride.
I am queen of the world.
Oh, Hawking always gets a free ride.
That's just not tasteful.
Sorry, what time is it, by the way?
Yeah, I gotta go real soon.
We'll wrap it up soon.
Past.
Alright, I like
25 past.
I might have to go now.
I think classic Batman 66, takes out Dark Knight Batman with a good old fashioned judo chop and takes the tumbler.
He has
left-hand karate chop.
He has the huge like black powder bomb with like the huge string coming out of it. He just takes that out, like he's driving around with it, trying to see where he drops it. But it keeps going up to like orphanage.
We know Christian,
so he just throws it at the tumbler.
We know Dark Knight Batman's one weakness is he can't get rid of a bomb.
That and bullets.
And dogs
and small knives.
Oh my god, guys! The end of the Dark Knight Returns. The end of Dark Knight Returns, where he's trying to get rid of the nuke, is a callback to the Adam West with the giant black ball. How have I never got that before?
This is going to be a weird tie-in, but I used to have this YouTube channel a while back, and one of my favorite video intros was I edited the end of Dark Knight Rises to the Paul Walker scene and Fast and Furious 7. It's stupid, but it's real worth a watch if you guys get a chance.
Well, that's a shameless plug.
Look it up.
Oh, sorry, IFA motherfucker.
At the end, who wins?
I feel Ghost Rider.
No, I think Adam West Batman.
No, he doesn't.
He pulls some 60s bullshit and pulls it out of the.
I'm sorry, but I'm
Logan in X-23, you just like chuck X-23 out of that thing. She like latches onto one of the cars and completely tears up everyone else.
Yeah, they're just reaching the finish line.
They're
just reaching the finish line, and X-24 just sits up in the backseat and just impales them through the head.
But he still wants to finish the race, so he gets in the driver's seat just finish.
Yeah, so he's just grunting the entire time, like fucking Frankenstein. He just leans over, grabs the steering wheel,
I feel like
flies over the
if it comes down to the two guys, Ghost Rider and 60s Batman, I'd also go, hey, do you want to have a surfing contest? And see, Ghost Rider doesn't know what surfing is. He's like, yeah, sure, let's do it, dude.
But they come over the line at the same time, so they gotta settle it somehow.
Yeah, and then they have a surf bot. Ghost Rider can't function when he's surrounded by water, can he?
Yes, he can.
He can.
He just turns it into fucking ghost
fire.
Yeah, he turns it into
whiskey.
Falls on Adam West and kills him.
No, hear me out. Adam West crashes his surfboard. He's on the beach. But Ghost Rider's walking towards it. You think it's over. He got the chain out. It's all over. And suddenly, Stephen Hawking on the boat from Speed 2
with Keanu Reeves holding up his arms so he's able to punch them.
Takes Ghost Rider in a beautiful explosion, and 60s Batman walks away.
It's just like a Keanu Reeves throws him out of the boat, and like limp-armed he jump punches Ghost Rider.
So, okay, 60s Batman won our Wacky Racers.
Of course he did.
Of course
because
he did.
Jack is here.
By the way, but just so you know, Dan, Ghost Rider isn't a fucking Charmander. He doesn't have... I
feel like you could drown Ghost Rider.
He's a demon.
You could drown Ghost Rider. What if you literally got one priest to go, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and bless the ocean? Well, then he's fucked.
I'm pretty sure holy water doesn't affect him either.
Is there anybody in the race who's a priest?
No.
Well, the Adam West Batman, maybe.
Probably.
Oh, didn't Dom officiate someone's wedding?
It was his own
I don't
wedding.
think that makes you a priest if you go, I now pronounce you man and wife.
Well, I mean, I don't know how priesting works, apart from the whole collar thing.
Yeah.
You didn't think I was
Is
going
there?
to say
Did we
collar.
forget any race? Maybe it's. Did Wolverine win another one of our events?
What about the Pope and the Pope?
Oh yes, he didn't kill
Yeah.
Wolverine. All I said was
The most fictional one of all, because he's a lizard.
Every time we do one of
Wolverine
these,
also crossed the line, yeah.
every time we do one of these versus matches, Wolverine always wins somehow.
I don't even know if we ended up in the kaiju one.
Oh yeah, there was in the kaiju one. He ended up dropping from orbit and through Godzilla's skull,
Like a bullet.
just as the fastball special from orbit through Godzilla's head. Speaking of, did you guys see that theory that in Kong's Skull Island, there's evidence that King Kong was man-made?
Oh, this is such a stupid theory. Can
I really like
Can I
that
debunk
theory.
it right now?
Okay.
Right now. I got 2 points. 2 plot points. Knock it right out of the park. First one. In that theory, he says they were created by Monarch. I think it's the second scene of that movie, is John Goodman establishing Monarch to go visit Kong. Therefore, there was no Monarch then.
Or he was just created by like the U.S. government.
Alright, that's the first part of the theory. The government didn't have that. They were fighting a war. Second part of the
They
theory.
were doing lots of shit,
Listen. Second part of the theory is they brought Kong to the island, dropped him there. That's it, right? He is the only Kong. We see the bones of like 10 Kongs. The villagers know him as Kong, but they've met Kong's parents. The gorillas breed on this island.
I don't know, I still like the theory, even if it's probably
It's
not
complete
true.
bullshit. They make points about it. It's like, no, he's been on this island millions of years. They've survived since the early days. Hollow plot theory.
I just like the theory. It's
Okay,
probably
so bring
not.
up in Kong, like, I haven't seen it, but that's to bring up how, as some kind of, this bullshit thing, how, it'll be an even match between him and Godzilla. Yeah, he's just gonna keep growing.
They make that point because
He's gonna get like so much bigger.
He's only a baby in
Yeah.
Skull Island.
Yeah, he's like, Kong's not as big as his parents were. He's still got some growing to do. So in 50 years, by the time he gets to fight Godzilla,
He'll be
and
half of
Wolverine,
Godzilla's size
Yeah.
instead of a tenth of it.
punching him right in the shin.
That'll be less entertaining though. Can you imagine if fucking little Kongs?
Oh, it's like Ant-Man versus Giant Man.
Like Diddy Kong.
Like, did he set his jetpack with the barrels on it? He's got his cap on.
You just have a scene where it's like him. It's like Shadow of the Colossus. He's scaling Godzilla until he gets to the top and starts doing like the jaw snap thing at him, but it doesn't.
God
work.
of War, just pulling apart his toenails or whatever.
Oh my god! Yeah, the Kronos fight. But like, he tries to do his like. This guy's basically a Tyrannosaurus Rex, so he tries to do the jaw snap, and it just doesn't work because Godzilla's too big, and Godzilla just bites all his fingers off.
Yeah, he goes like full stretch, and he just falls into his mouth.
Atomic breath just takes him.
That'd be
apart.
great if fucking Kong tries the neck snap and then Godzilla grabs his jaw and Atomic's breath down it.
Yeah, to be honest, that's going to be my main problem.
That's my new fetish.
Is that my phone?
What?
I think that's my phone.
Is that how every podcast ends here?
That's my new
Guys?
fetish.
That's
And on
my
that
new
note,
Hang on.
this is the end of the podcast. On that note, everybody have a good time. Batman661, thank you for joining us, Aiden. Dan, you're always a great host. Good man, hosting it. We've also lost Rhiannon. Shall we say goodbye?
I've always had a problem with the fact that I feel Godzilla would instantly win against King Kong because Godzilla can fucking. He has atomic breath. He has atomic breath.
On that note, go listen to our Kaiju episode. Thanks for watching.
Last word.
Bye.
Last word.
How's
Last
it
word.
watching? How's it watching?